25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. Hi, hello. If you're watching this on the day of it's being uploaded, I am now 25 and I'm very excited to make this video that is going to serve as a time capsule for me, but I hope it's also fun for you to watch if you're not me. I have a lot of fun concepts and we're gonna get through 25 years in 25 minutes, so let's get started. Here's 25 lessons I've learned in 25 years. I was inspired many years ago by Jenna Marbles to do this style of video, and I really thought it was going to be, you know, a mix of silly and serious. It seems like it's just gonna be pretty serious, I guess, but just kind of as a bit of a, I don't know, a pep talk, or just remembering what I've learned so far throughout my 25 years on this planet that I do want to take with me into the next 25 years as well. It's not my intention with these to get preachy. I just want to preach to myself to remember how far I've come, because I have come a long way. Number one is hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I've said this for a long time. It's really important to have hope and to expect great things to happen, or to hope for great things to happen, but to also just always be prepared, like I learned in Scouts. It's very important to have a backup plan, but you don't need to feel like you're gonna need to rely on that backup plan. Number two is it's okay to have feelings. What you do with them, that matters. There are some thoughts and feelings that I have that are not good for the public, especially if I get woken up super early and I haven't eaten yet, or I'm just in an irritable mood. There are thoughts and feelings that I'm glad don't see the light of day, because in fact what you do with them is actually going to be what defines you and how other people start to see you, and how you see yourself as how are you actually acting rather than what are you actually just thinking and feeling. Because we're humans, we're going to feel and think things that might not be something that we're proud of, because not everything we do and think we're proud of, but hopefully we can be intentional with what we're doing so that we're proud of that. There is power in both independence and community. It's important to find ways to love being just with you and to love yourself before you can love somebody else. But it's also important to find community. Don't just be like, oh, it's me against the world. It's not you against the world. It is the whole world with you, and you can learn to collaborate and work together with them. Number four, I'm paraphrasing from Darian Lake, but people enter your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And I think that has helped me, especially recently with certain friend breakups, that some people were only meant to be in your life for a season, or maybe someone taught you a really important lesson, but some people will stay in your life forever. So you have to figure out what you will allow them to be in your life, and to appreciate them in all of those facets, whether it is someone who's going to stick around a long time or just be a moment that you won't forget. Number five, being kind is often more important than being right. Now, there are times where, advocate for your needs or for the needs of others, but sometimes just because you're correct about a grammatical error or something trivial, there are things that are just trivial that you don't need to fight over, and there's times where you don't need to argue or discuss things at length. Sometimes it's not fun for everyone involved, and I'm glad that is something that you have learned. Number six is splurge where you feel matters. I have grown up feeling very frugal and stingy sometimes, and frugalness, there is a benefits to that, but I don't think everything should always be frugal and minimalist as possible. So you have to figure out where it matters for you. For example, when I went abroad, I realized that the food in Europe was not my favorite, especially in Germany where I was living, and that I really love good food, and I will take the extra amount of money to get the ingredients to make something nice for myself, or to go to a nice restaurant. It's really beneficial for my physical and mental well-being to not just eat the same thing over and over again. I'm over sandwiches at this point. So I really think it's important to figure out where you value things and to splurge there. But that doesn't mean you need to splurge everywhere. There are some things that you might not care at all about. I have friends who care about how their coffee tastes and friends that just need the caffeine. So you figure it out. For me, I don't drink caffeine, so that's something I don't have to balance the budget with. Taking the time to figure out if this is something that holds a lot of value to you, or if you're doing it because of a trend. It's important to think to yourself, how am I spending my money? And as well as your time. Like, there are friends that don't need all that time, and there are people in your life that you don't need to care. It's kind of splurge where you feel. If you want to indulge a partner or a friend for a long time because it brings you joy and it brings you some comfort or something like that, then by all means, go for it. Spend a lot of that time take up that time, let them use that space. But you don't need to do that for every single thing that comes across your doorstep. Just because you like something doesn't mean it needs to be yours. I have realized that a lot with certain clothes that I'm like, oh, I would love that. And I'm still someone who figures out different styles. I'm not really married to any sort of aesthetic. I have a lot of aesthetics I like, and that makes it a bit challenging to figure out what I should focus on. But there are so many things that I've seen other people wear that I'm like, oh, that looks so amazing on you. I want to try it. And then I realize it doesn't look good on me at all, or it just doesn't suit me. It looked so cool aesthetically, but it wasn't for me. And going to my next point, it's okay for something to not be for you. It's good to let other people enjoy things, and you don't necessarily have to always take part. With that, reducing and reusing, let's think less on trends and let's think more about how we can use what we have. Simplifying and de-stressifying. I got back from pretty much just living out of 2 suitcases for a year, and I looked at my closet and I was like, this is so many things. And I didn't get rid of many things because I know I can use them here and I will have that flexibility. But it meant I really didn't need to go out and get new things because I have what I need and I can repair things. I can use what I have and, innovate with that rather than having to dump more things into the landfill or support unethical labor practices abroad. It's just really good and kind of like chill for me to not think, oh, I need to have this for a trend or something like that. This shirt was ordered for a dance routine number that I did back in college, and that is what I'm wearing to the Brat Club night. And pairing it with sunglasses I found on the ground. So I think it's gonna turn out great, and I don't think you necessarily need to buy in whole new outfits for something new. What you do shouldn't bother others as long as it doesn't harm you or them, because why do we care so much about what other people think? Do we think that much about other people? I personally try not to think too much about what other people do unless it really directly affects me. But what they were wearing at an event or how they ate something, I don't care if it's not relevant to me. Now, if I'm looking at a potential partner and seeing how they spend their money, it's not really my business, but it could be something that tells me that maybe we're not financially compatible. And maybe someone's interest or lack of interest in something may reveal something political or some issue that you fundamentally disagree with. But altogether, generally, you don't have to worry too much about what other people think if you're not thinking too much about what other people are worrying about. Not every critique of you is in good faith or is even a reflection of you. I had a friend kind of ghost me out of the blue, and a mutual friend today said that they ghosted him out of the blue. And that was very reassuring and comforting, being like, oh, it really wasn't me. It's just is kind of a pattern that this person is having. I've also been subject to a lot of projection from other people saying, oh, I'm raising my voice when they are the one who literally escalated a conversation. So it doesn't always reflect upon you. And especially if you are so worried that you are doing the wrong thing and you think that this person is kind of manipulating you to think that, then maybe it really doesn't have much to do with you at all and has a lot more to do with them. Going along with that, you do not have to change what someone thinks is bad. I've been told many times that I'm loud, and I understand that, and I understand in certain spaces we should calm down, and I generally can. But particularly in Germany, I felt like I had to mask my excitement for something, my joy, like my energy, and that's not who I am, and I don't plan on changing that part of me. I really embrace that part of me, and I think for so long, I wasn't comfortable in who I was, and so letting that out has been very cathartic for me, and I plan to keep it out for as long as possible. Just because someone tells you that you should change something doesn't mean you necessarily have to listen. There are times where compromise is important, but if someone is just so demure and they're like, oh, you're just really like a bit out there, you don't have to become demure like them. Everyone else is being demure. You don't have to be. But we are mindful here, okay? Speaking of changes or the lack thereof, do not try to change what you have no control over. There are things that are big in this world that we can work together to control, but we should not let that fully affect how we are every day. We deserve the opportunity to find joy in life, and we should also seek to find justice for those who have really no outlet to pursue their happiness. You can be happy while also working hard to make sure that other people have the same opportunity for happiness too. Moving on, do not accept every offer and do not accept every challenge. Not everything that could be a challenge is something that you have to do. You don't have to do a dare. You don't have to say, oh, I bet I can do this because I'm stronger or bolder or more confident or whatever. You don't have to do it. You do not have to say yes to everything. It's often helpful to say yes to things that are a little out there. Like I'm going critter searching with my friend on Sunday, and I don't really know what that is all about, but I'm intrigued to learn. But if you were terrified of bugs, you don't have to prove that you are not afraid of bugs or whatever. What I'm saying is that you don't have to feel bad if you say no, it's not your vibe, or if you feel like you don't have the bones for it, don't go for it. 15, and I know it's not the last one, but this is probably the most important, is you are inherently good enough and worthy of love. Don't let anyone at all tell you any different. And treat others the way that you want to be treated, as well as they want to be treated. If they have different vibes for it, please respect that. Learning is lifelong, and you're never too old to try something new. I have noticed that a lot with my parents trying new things in their retirement. I'm really pleased to see that. And I feel like for me, there's certain sports that I really wanted to test out and try out, but I didn't have the opportunities or the confidence to do that when I was younger. So I tried pickleball a month ago, and it was super fun. And I hope to do the same thing with ice hockey and lacrosse and just other things. I have a list of things that I want to try out, and I don't have to wait until I'm retired. I don't have to be like, oh, I should have done that when I was 15. Life is now, and we're gonna live it. Sometimes things just exist, and they don't necessarily need to. And what I mean by that is sometimes a structure exists for no other reason than to provide a structure, which means that you are welcome to challenge something, you are welcome to dismantle something, to deconstruct an idea, a construct. You don't have to listen to what people have told you this is what it is. I messed up the intro for this next one, but number 19 is a lesson I've taken from Khadija and Bo, a commentary YouTuber who I really enjoy listening and watching and just gaining new perspectives from. At the end of every one of Khadija's videos, they say, you can always change your mind because you can. And that is true. You do not have to always hold the opinions you had since you were born. You could have a complete tone shift over time. That's totally fine. You can vote different political parties. You can say you weren't supporting something and now you totally support it, or reverse. You can learn and you can grow. And if you're learning and growing, your opinions should change over time to some degree, and your values probably also change. A lot of your priorities and just your way of thinking changes, and it's okay to change your mind and say, I've changed my mind. I am a different person than I was then, and I believe this instead of that. And this one was a closer from one of the Jenna Marbles videos, but make the best decision you can make at the time, because then you don't live with regrets. And I do have a couple things where I have realized, shoot, I really do regret that. I did know at the time that that might not be the best decision, and I still went with it anyway. But otherwise, you really don't have to live with regrets. If you are thinking in that mindset, try to make the best decision you can with what you have at the time, and then you don't have to look back at something with remorse. And it's unfortunate that the regrets I have happened after getting advice, which is why I'm reiterating it for you now. Please remember, Eric, to always try to make the best decision you can with the knowledge and the experiences you have at the time. But with that, learn from your mistakes rather than dwelling on them. It doesn't you no good to just think back and just feel that regret if you're not going to actually act and learn and grow from that experience. Next is that you get good energy by giving good energy. I try to be optimistic, be positive, try to hype other people up, and I feel like I do get some of that support back. I am probably one of the most optimistic and positive people in my friendships, almost always, so I don't expect to get the same level back. But I do hope that me putting good out in the world comes back to me. And I think generally speaking, aside from, tumultuous times that everyone experiences in their life, I don't feel a reason to complain about them because they are just my struggles at the end of the day. But I think I have generally gotten a lot of good energy back and a lot of positive vibes back because I do try to put in the work and the effort to put positivity in. I always want to remember to find the silver linings. There is a silver lining to 99% of things that happen. I can turn something that sounds absolutely horrible and find something good out of it. And I don't really want to bring up any political or public examples because I feel like that might trivialize an experience. But I do think in my head that there is something positive to gain out of many situations. Again, not all, 99%. Exceptions largely being loss of life or war or something of that nature. But generally speaking, I do try to find a silver lining in everything. It helps me keep my hope and optimism going. My penultimate lesson is that practicing gratitude benefits everyone. It simply does. I use the Finch app, and it's not sponsored, but I would love for them to sponsor me at some point. But they are a self-care app, and you take care of this little baby finch. And my first goal that I made as a routine goal is to say one thing I'm grateful for before bed. And it's been very helpful at taking a moment, even if I'm having a horrible day, to be like, oh, this person, you know, waited for me at the bus stop, or this person cooked me a meal, or something of that nature. And it really helps me, even on my bad days, to focus on something positive in it and to end the day thinking something at least slightly positive that occurred during the day. Finally, number 25, know when to stop doing something. When you realize you're not getting the effort back, you don't need it. Get it out. Do something much better with your time. There's a billion bajillion things that you can do in the world, and you don't have to do the thing that you're doing now. If it's not bringing you joy, if it's not bringing you comfort, if it's not benefiting you or people around you in any way, shape, or form, just delete it from your life. With that, back to the video. We're gonna be reacting to people at the same age as me and people who have the same birthday as me. Okay, first and foremost, Sabrina Carpenter, whose 6 studio album came out last week, and I just painted it. Rude. And the second, I don't know who Leah K-Tubb is. Reality star. I don't know many people. They are just from reality TV or from TikTok. Not the main people I pay attention to. James Charles. Well, I have not amassed an empire like that, but I also didn't let it crumble because of my own ethical failings. And also the fact that it says Instagram star, like that's the biggest thing. I feel like there are other ways to describe him that make much more sense. Madison Beer sounds like a lovely girl. I don't really listen to her music much. Is it good? I heard she came out with a new album and I still haven't listened to it yet. Just Cass. Bryce Hall. I've heard of him. I don't know what he does. Does he just do TikTok dances? I feel like he was in that original crowd that popped up. Dream, someone that famous. And Ryan Trahan. I've heard of Ryan Trahan as well. Okay, so they just are killing the game. I know that generally speaking, this website is focused a lot on, you know, younger celebrities, and especially one in the 25-year-old section. They're all going to be the same age. But yeah, it is very interesting how it's much more influencer focused rather than, I don't know, a proper celebrity. That's not to gatekeep at all. It's just a difference between someone who just had a phone and got popular from that way versus someone who has been in the industry. I think it's interesting to see that this website is primarily focused on the former rather than the latter. These others, I don't know who these, oh, there's a soccer player here. Okay, cool. Lotto's only 25? That is wild to me. Lotto is 25. I just assumed she would be older. I don't know why. Peso Pluma, I've heard good things from his music. Glorilla, okay. Lil Nas X. Oh God. I did know that Lil Nas X and I are similar ages, but it's just wacky to see it happen right now. Conan Gray, cool. Okay, I didn't realize he was the same age as me too. And Joey King, she was in the Speak Now, I Can See You music video from Taylor. Loewe, okay, I do know. Okay, many musicians here that I listen to, and I was wondering, oh, are there artists really the same age as me? I'm Sabrina Carpenter. She's on the charts right now. So I think we can say with some certainty that musicians my age are still thriving. We're not considered too young or too old. We're right in that middle. Okay, I'm gonna go into the 25-year-olds by profession for singers because I do know that category much more. I know of Herbie and Damiano David from Måneskin. I didn't realize the same age as me again. Girl in Red also. Alexander Stewart, I remember his YouTube days, and I think he just got nominated for his first VMA. I don't actually know when that is happening, but congratulations on that nomination. Declan McKenna and Bia Miller. Oh, the fact that they're just back to back. Those are two different vibes in my music taste, but they're both very clear parts of my music taste. Oh, and M, Numb Lil Bug Singer. I don't know many of her other songs, but I do really like that song. Lennon Stella, I know of her. Any others on here? Yeah, okay, that's where it has stopped. So, yeah, that is a pretty good list, I'll say. I'm in good company with artists, and it does make me feel a little behind. But again, I'm not in a big artist celeb space routinely. I'm just on the internet. I don't expect to ever be the same level of fame as any of them. And, you know, am I doing anything right now that's actively trying to get me there? No, not really either. So I am doing successful things in my own way. And it's fun to see how people have done their lives completely differently in the same amount of time. But at the same time, these comparisons aren't something that you want to take to heart. Don't dwell on that at all. It's just a lighthearted, fun moment. So I put in my actual birthday, and Gracie Abrams is number one. Yeah, she's a musician, but we haven't turned 25 yet. Neither of us have. I'm filming this a few days before my actual birthday, but yeah, okay. So Gracie Abrams and I are the same age exactly. All right. She's doing good music-wise. She got a Taylor Swift co-sign on it, so good for her. Cameron Ocasio is also the same age as me. Okay. I don't know who he is. He's a TV actor. What did he do? Oh, he was in Law and Order. Cool. And was in Sam and Cap. Okay. Fun. Oh, Buddy Holly. I do know of Buddy Holly. Oh, Kurt Hugo Schneider. I remember listening to his mashups and remixes growing up. So that's sweet to see us having the same moment. Gloria Gaynor. Okay. Vibes. And the last one on this slide, I know Leslie Jones. She's an icon, a legend. I love watching SNL. And she always has made it good. I went into singers again, but for the date itself, I am not seeing really anyone that, at least on name alone, is really sticking out to me. A lot of these don't even have photos, so not the biggest day for singers. I know Beyonce has her birthday a few days before mine, and that would be pretty iconic to have it on the same day. I do love how all the Virgo songs feel like they're dedicated to me. That's a fun vibe. Once again, this is all in good fun. It's just fun to see who is the same age as me. It's a video idea I had for a while, but I think it fits nicely into this 25 minutes. So yeah, back to the video. Welcome to the unedited final portion where I just wanted to talk to you guys and my future self about life and just things. I want to first start off by saying how grateful I am to anyone who's watching, whether it's myself in the future, anyone who I know personally, or just people online. I still have my 1,000 dots for my first 1,000 subscribers on the wall over there. And I just really appreciate any and all support I get from anyone in my life. I even have written a song when I do my music stuff of, to those who are old, to those who are new, you made me me. I'm thankful to thank you, from those from my first day to those I met yesterday. I'm glad that you're here with me. We've made so many memories. Or something like that. I don't know, we're in unedited mode because I normally edit my videos like most YouTubers do. And I especially do it now because I grew up stuttering, and I still stutter when I get excited or talk a lot. And sometimes I stumble through my words. So hopefully I'm doing okay with this time. But I really find it important for me to have some sense of smoothness when I actually am editing, but also have some clarity so you guys actually are understanding what's going on in this brain of mine that can kind of go all sorts of ways. But yeah, I really wanted to share my appreciation. I also want to look towards the future. I'm in a boat where I don't actually have something stable right now, and I am looking for what's next. I'm currently living in my family home, and I'm happy to be here for the time being, but I know it will not be a forever thing, and no, nothing lasts forever. But, you know, it's something that feels like a big turning point, a big quarter life crisis on the horizon / incoming / already here. / also just, I feel like we're in a boat where the season of a show is wrapping up and we don't know who's going to pick it up next. We know it's going to get picked up, but we don't know really who's going to pick it up, who the new writers are. And that means that we are trying to tie up a lot of loose ends. I feel like a lot of loose ends have been tied up, a lot of personal struggles, a lot of certain conflicts that I've dealt with throughout my entire life are either coming to a head or having resolution or have become non-factors. They have had big changes happen, and I am grateful for that. It feels like, you know, we move forward, and for the most part, a lot of these things have been positive or at least productive and healthy. And so, yeah, I just wanted to reflect because I feel like it's a very unique moment in time for me to be here. And so I think that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to make this video, 25 years and 25 minutes. Yeah, of course, it's going to have a recency bias, but I think it really shows me exactly where I'm at. And I know when I look at this in 5 years and a couple of years, and a long time from now, who knows where I'll be then, but I think I'll have something fond to look back on and really know exactly where I was in time. And I'm glad that you guys get to be a part of this experience. So thank you all once again. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later. 'Cause now I'm 25 and it's 2024 and